Bonjour les élèves de français 2. Aujourd'hui, nous allons continuer à étudier la leçon 2. This will be partie 2 de la leçon 2, where we will study les adjectifs. Les adjectifs, adjectives. Here is a Bitmoji photo where I say, je suis triste. So we're using the verb to be still. Je suis triste, I'm sad. Je suis contente, I'm happy. Okay, so we're gonna learn how to use adjectives and what are some new adjectives that we haven't seen prior. Voilà. Leçon 2, partie 2. Les adjectifs. Here are the learning targets. I can communicate personality and physical traits by using adjectives. I know a variety of adjectives describing words, regular or irregular. In French, I can communicate with these adjectives, making them agree in gender and number with what they are describing. I can communicate with bags adjectives. We will find out what this means by placing them in front of the noun. I place all other adjectives after the nouns they describe. Let's start right away by looking at the forms and positions of the adjectives. Forme et position. Let's start with forms. Review the ending of regular adjectives. So we have this table that shows a chart of the different endings of adjectives, if they are singular, plural, masculine, or feminine. So if an adjective is masculine and singular, we do not, so here is the ending, right? We're talking about the endings. We don't add anything to the adjective, as in petit or petit, small. So here we have the whole word, the body of the word without anything added at the end. Now, if the adjective is masculine, plural, we add an S, on ajoute un S, n'est-ce pas? If the adjective is feminine, singular, we add an E, petite. If the adjective is feminine and plural, we add ES, as in ES, here as in petite. D'accord? Oops, voila. Same chart here. Okay, so the adjectives that end with E in the masculine singular do not add another E in the feminine singular. Here is an example. Marc est dynamique. Marc is a male, so dynamique, so it already has, dynamique already has an E in the masculine form, so we add nothing changes in the feminine, but we just know that it's in the feminine because Hélène is a female. Hélène est dynamique aussi. D'accord? Adjectives that end in S in the masculine singular remain the same in the masculine plural. So same rule, if the adjective in the masculine singular includes an S as part of the word, we do not add anything in the plural. Philippe est français, okay? Français is an adjective. Here is the masculine singular form. So if we add another person to make it plural, Eric et Patrick sont français aussi. So here we do not need to add another S because it already has an S in the singular. How do we know if it's a singular français or plural français then? From context, depending on who's the subject, who are we describing as French? If it's Philippe, one person, we know it's singular. If it's Eric et Patrick, we know it's plural. Now, adjectives that do not follow the above patterns are called irregular. D'accord? Irregular adjectives. Here are some examples. Alain est beau. Beau. Alain is handsome. Beau is a masculine form of the word pretty or handsome. Stéphanie est belle. See, for feminine form, for Stephanie, it changes forms completely, or the ending completely. E becomes E, which means that the adjective beau is irregular. Another adjective is vieux. It's irregular. Vieux means old. Vieux. Mon grand-père est vieux. Now, how do we change it? We don't just add an E, we have to change the ending. Ma tante est vieille. Vieille. Vieux becomes vieille. So the E-U-X changes to E-I-L-L-E, and we do not pronounce the N in vieille, the L in vieille, d'accord? J'ai un nouveau copain. Nouveau is another example of a irregular ending of an adjective, from masculine to feminine. Nouveau becomes nouvelle. J'ai un nouveau copain. I have a new friend. Qui est ta nouvelle copine? Who is your new female friend? Nouvelle. Now, position. Where do we, now we know, we found out a little bit, we studied a little bit about how do we form the ending and if the regular, irregular endings. Now, what about the position? Most adjectives come after the noun they modify or describe. Here's an example. J'ai des amis sympathiques. I have some nice friends, or I have nice friends. Sympathique describes or modifies ami, it's placed after it. Mes amis ont une voiture japonaise. My parents have a Japanese car. Une voiture, car, japonaise, adjective that describes or modifies voiture, it's placed after it. This is a general rule, but of course, we know that in French the exceptions are frequent. The following adjectives, however, usually come before the noun. Grand, big, versus petit, small. They come before the noun, n'est-ce pas? Big versus small. Mes voisins ont une petite voiture. So here, petit, so we had to do the feminine agreement, right? Petite voiture, because voiture is feminine, petite should be feminine. Ont une petite voiture, so petite is placed before the noun it describes. Bon, bonne, good, and its opposite, mauvais, meaning bad, are placed also before the noun. Claire est bonne élève. Est une bonne élève. Claire is a good student. So bonne is placed before the noun it modifies. Beau and belle, meaning beautiful, also are placed before the noun. Vous avez une belle maison. You have a nice house. Nouveau or nouvelle, meaning new, are placed also before the adjectives. Paul a un nouveau portable. Paul has a new cellular phone or portable phone. Vieux and vieille, meaning old. J'ai un vieux vélo. I have an old bike. So again, vieux is placed before the noun. Jolie, pretty. Tu as une jolie montre. You have a nice watch. Jolie is placed before montre. Jeune, young. Nous avons un jeune professeur. We have a young male teacher. Okay, so the adjectives, beau, nouveau, and vieux, all of them, since they are irregular, they become belle, beau becomes belle, nouveau becomes nouvelle with one L, and vieux becomes vieille with one L before a vowel sound, okay? Like so. Appartement means apartment, starts with a vowel, A. So if we want to say beau appartement, it's masculine, so we should use beau appartement, right? Because it's un appartement. But the problem is we can't place two vowels consecutively, so we replace beau with belle. D'accord? It's another exception. A nouvel ami, same thing for nouveau. So we should have used nouveau ami, new friend, but we can't because we have ami, nouvel ami. Same thing for vieil homme, old man, un vieil homme, an old man. Since vieux doesn't work here because we can't have two consecutive vowels. The ash is silent of homme, by the way. This is why we consider homme as beginning with a vowel. Vieil homme, so we use vieil. Let's continue with quelques descriptions. Vocabulaire, quelques descriptions. Voilà. Adjectives. So here you are filling out the lesson notes and we're learning and memorizing these new adjectives. Riche versus pauvre. The opposite of rich is poor, pauvre. Sensible, sensitive. Content, triste. Happy, sad. Sympathique or sympa means nice. So go ahead, fill out the lesson notes and repeat. for pronunciation practice. Juste, injuste, fair, unfair. Aimable, pleasant, nice. It's from the verb aimer, to love, right? Aimable, likable, or pleasant, or nice. Poli, impoli. Bête, dumb or silly. Bête. Drôle versus pénible. Funny, boring. Égoïste, égoïste, selfish. Timide, shy, timide. Now these were the adjectives. Now let's look at some adverbs. Très means very. Ma tante Lucie est très sympa. My aunt Lucy is very nice. Trop means too, as in T-O-O. Ne sois pas trop triste. Don't be too sad. Ne sois pas trop triste. And we saw that ne sois pas means do not be. It's a verb to be or être in the command form. Assez is another adverb. And by the way, the adverb, what's the difference between an adverb and an adjective? An adverb describes a verb, while an adjective describes a noun. Assez is the adverb that means rather or pretty. Mon petit frère est assez drôle. Assez describes the verb, so it's an adverb, not an adjective. My little brother is very funny. Assez drôle is rather funny. Mon chien est intelligent. Mon chien est-il stupide? Okay, here are some activities we'll do together in class. So here is another way to look at the gender of the adjectives. We saw them previously in another slide in a different form. Okay, so you can pause and review this. We already mentioned them above. Here are the adverbs we spoke about. Voila. Go ahead and view them, pause and read, please. Let's look at some adjectives of personality, la personnalité. Okay, la personnalité means the personality and it's feminine. Ambitieux, ambitieux. Consciencieux. Curieux. All these are masculine forms. Ennuyeux, répétez, ennuyeux, boring. Généreux, generous. Sérieux, serious. Heureux, happy. Malheureux, sad or unhappy. Paresseux, lazy. Génial, awesome or genius. Libéral, original. And these are words, of course, that you already know. They are cognates with English. Actif, masculine. Imaginatif, active, and imaginative with an active imagination. Impulsif, impulsive. Intuitif, intuitive. Naïf, naïf means naive. Sportif, athletic. Intellectuel. Ponctuel, spirituel, mignon, nice, or cute. Mignon means cute. Musicien. Okay, so what irregular endings do you see here? I'm gonna ask you to pause and think about it, and we'll talk about it together in class. In red here, we will see the al, if, el, on are all irregular endings. Let's look at the irregular adjectives that we just spoke about, the endings with al, if, el, on, and on. This would be the ending in the masculine. So we will look at the feminine singular form of all the adjectives. For becomes euse, répétez, becomes euse, like malheureux becomes malheureuse. Al, génial, génial with an e. If becomes Yves in French, like sportif becomes sportive. Elle with one L becomes E-L-L-E. These are the ending. On, with that we add an N-E and becomes on. Nasal, on, not nasal. En, nasal. On, not nasal. And here they are with examples. So if we have the singular form of the adjective, so many irregular adjectives follow predictable patterns. Singular us. Exemple, Alain est sérieux, Alice est sérieuse. Ses amis sont sérieux, ses amies sont sérieuses. Now, adjective al, I already read those, so I'll read the examples to you. Paul est original, Valérie est originale. Same pronunciation here, we just add the silent E. Il a des amis originaux, he has original friends, originaux, masculine plural, becomes elle a des amis, feminine, original, feminine plural, L-E, so O turns to al. Now the adjectives with irregular feminine forms like if, elle, on, en becomes Yves, elle, on, N, pardon. Exemple, Paul est actif. Sylvie est active. Pause and repeat these sentences, or pause at the end of the slide and read the whole thing on your own, s'il vous plaît. Eric est ponctuel. Sa sœur est ponctuelle. So same pronunciation, different spelling. Ce sandwich est bon. Cette glace est bonne. Bon, bonne. Marc est canadien. Alice est canadienne. Here is a list of these adjectives of personality. I already read them for you. Voila. And voila, I want to talk to you about the acronym BANGS. Bangs, and as in these bangs. So to talk about the location of the adjectives, we French language learners use several acronyms. It could be bangs, or it could be bags, as in bags, and it could be brags. It depends on the teacher and what system they like to use. Let's look at bangs. Bangs adjectives are those adjectives whose placements comes before the noun they describe. They still have to agree in gender and number, like so. What does bangs stand for? Beauty, age, number, goodness, and size. Here are some examples. La jeune fille is related to beauty, n'est-ce pas? So jeune is placed before fille, not after it. Goodness is used here. This is an example of goodness. La mauvaise journée, it's a bad. So is it good or bad, right? When we say goodness, la mauvaise journée, it's the bad day. It's placed before the adjective. Les petits élèves, les petits would be size, right? Since petit is the size, it belongs to the bangs category. We place it before élève. The little students. La belle voiture, what category is it? Beauty, age, number, goodness, or size for belle? It's beauty. You're right. La belle voiture before the adjective. Here is bangs in another form. Voila. Beauty, beau, joli. Age, nouveau, vieux, jeune. Numbers 1, 2, etc. Premier, deuxième, first and second, and so forth. Goodness, bon, gentil, mauvais. Mauvais means bad, of course, and the rest is obvious. Gentil is nice. Size, grand, petit, long, gros. Long means tall, gros means big, like as in fat. Here are the same descriptions. Again, please pause and read. Okay. Oh, yes. So we already studied what are the three irregular bangs adjectives that we know, beau, nouveau, vieux. What are the usual four forms of adjective? We have masculine, singular, masculine, plural, feminine, singular, feminine, plural. What is the fifth form? Oh, yes. This is information on the next slide. Masculine, singular before a vowel. Why do they have one? In French, why do we have one? Pronunciation is the reason. So two vowels sounds are not next to one another. So here are the exceptions we spoke about. Singular, plural, beau, singular, plural, and then masculine, masculine before a vowel, feminine, masculine, and feminine. So for the singular masculine, we have beau. How does it look like in front of a vowel? That is when it's masculine, belle. How does it look like when it's feminine? Belle with deux L, two L in S. What about if it's plural masculine? It's beau with X. If it's plural feminine, it's belle with S. I will do with you also vieux, and I'll let you do nouveau on your own. Vieux, old. When it's masculine, singular, it looks like this, vieux with X. When it's masculine, singular, but before a vowel sound, we have to change the EX to L, and it becomes vieille. When it's singular feminine, it's vieille, double S-E. When it's plural masculine, it's vieux, just like is in the singular form. And plural feminine, vieille, E-I-L-L-E-S. D'accord? Another acronym is BAGS also, BAGS for beauty, age, goodness, and size. I've seen this ma brags, it's like about me. The M stands for mem, as in same. The A stands for autre, as in others, another singular or another plural, and so forth. I will let you read all of these. They are self-explanatory and they are complementary to what we, to the other bangs and brag and bags acronyms. Just a word of reminder that les mots interrogatifs, interrogative words are où habites-tu, where do you live, comment, comment ça va, comment, how means how, comment ça va, how are you, comment tu t'appelles, how do you call yourself, or what's your name. Quand means when. C'est quand ton anniversaire, when is your anniversary or birthday. Quel or quelle mean what. Quel âge as-tu, what age do you have, or quelle est ton adresse, what's your address. Qui or avec qui, who or with whom. Qui est ton ami, who is your friend, avec qui joues-tu. D'accord? We come here to the end of this lesson. Please, as usual, make sure you have filled out the lesson notes and you have paused and repeated, you practiced the presentational speaking proficiency, d'accord? And I'll see you in the second video. And of course, don't hesitate to ask me questions if needed. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.